Hi, I'm Peter Lloyd. Welcome to the small shed. I just thought I'd do a brief shop tour for the UK Woodworking Group. It is a small shed, but come on in and have a look. Said it was small. Actually, that's a bit of a lie. This is a little pod that I built on the front that takes all the garden tools so that I could keep everything that was related to the garden completely separate from the workshop. So it just tidies things up, and it means I don't get a shed full of grass and mud, and the two things just don't mix really. There's a small compressor up there that may or may not be used and piped into the main shed. I just thought it was useful to keep that outside, and then I'll just pipe in through for a pin gun or duster and that sort of thing. And the occasional bit of spraying perhaps, but that's all in there. So that's just the little pod on the front. We'll have a quick walk around the outside. You can see it's basically panels of timber that have been built up separately. They were built up on site, off site I mean, at my local Menin Sheds, but it's proved a good way of getting it done quickly and in the warm. And then the whole thing went up in about 3 days, so come and have a look round. What I'll do while I'm walking around the outside with you is put up a quick 30-second intro to the new YouTube channel, because it gives a very quick thumbnail sketch of how it was all put together, and you can get a rough idea on the whole of the construction sequence of the shed itself. Right, well, this is the shed itself. It's quite small, as I say, but it's the only room I've got, so we'll just start and have a quick look round. It's 2.2 metres wide, it's what, 7 foot, 7'6", something like that, by about 2.9, which is 9 feet. So it's compact, but at least it's clean and tidy, and it's only got the sort of thing inside it that I want to have. So let's have a quick look. Start off with the slat wall on the wall that I've just done a video that should be uploaded to YouTube in about a fortnight, I would think. It's just an alternative to French cleats as a means of fixing things on the wall. It means that you can actually have the same sort of flexibility. You can just move hooks around to new positions as and when you want to. There's shelves available, all sorts of different options. Until I actually use the shed, I don't quite know where I want to put things. So this just gives me that flexibility to keep moving things around. And I've taken some of the Perspex shelves I've bought and put in drills and sockets and things like that. First piece of real woodworking was an oak sides for a paper towel holder that I've made at the bottom. Clamps I haven't yet decided on what I'm going to do with, but they're hanging there loosely at the moment, but that will be changed. Along the top of the walls there's another length of slat wall which is holding long items like the rules and guides for the saw. Another piece over there for the Triton work centre, that's the feather boards, the bits and pieces for the router, bits and pieces for the circular saw. And again, at the moment, not quite sure where they'll end up there, but at least it keeps it tidy at the moment. Below that is the Triton work centre, which is a recent purchase. I really wanted a router table. I wasn't originally going to have a circular saw in the shed because of basically of the room that it would take up, but the Triton gives me the option of putting the module for the circular saw or the router, or indeed a plain table. They just fit into the hole on the top there that you can just slot them in and out. I've even purchased some bits and pieces of the fittings so that if I want to I can make my own modules. Underneath that, the bench storage is at the moment very temporary. It's a cart that I'm going to make in aluminium, which I'll show you another one in a minute, but I was just trying to get the sizes right and seeing what I could store underneath it. With a bit of messing around I should be able to store my chop saw underneath as well, and probably a little metal chop saw and a bench grinder. Again, it's all very sort of tentative at the moment because it's early days. Next to that there's a scroll saw that came out of the garage that I haven't even used yet. That's something I bought second hand some time ago, and a little cart that I made for the Festool sustainers. Very useful, again, flexible. Everything is going to be on casters except the actual benches themselves, so that I can move stuff around within the workspace and get the maximum use out of the space. MFT table in the corner, that was bought second hand and works well. I've got a new top to put on that, which again will be the subject of another video, I'm sure. Underneath it is the first steps I've taken to build the aluminium cart. As I mentioned in videos later on, this is really down to Manor Wood on YouTube. His channel has some fantastic bits and pieces in it, and he introduces the concept of using this 40mm aluminium, which I've found tremendous as a means of building a cart for the sustainers. At the moment it's got to have drawers fronts fitted, but basically the whole thing will pull out again to give me the flexibility that I need. It needs a top putting on it, which at the moment will probably be similar to the MFT top. I have got the Axminster hole drilling jigs to make the holes the same as the Festool MFT, but I haven't really got into using that yet. There's another 4 sustainers at the back at the moment, which the shelves aren't complete for, but again that will be more storage for things like the SDS drills and things like that don't get used very often. But that will be something that's again coming up. There's about a 4 or 5 part build on this tray that will be coming up soon on a YouTube channel. The actual drawers at the moment pull out. I've got to put some handles or something on the front, but it means I can then get at screws, drills, things like that. So that's the first thing that we've actually built for the shed. Moving around, you can see the windows. They're very nice aluminium framed. They're made by the same people that do the Velux roof lights actually. They've got a little catch on them that will fully open, so that if I got any really big stock in I should be able to push it out through the window. But it's a nice double glazed window with a big hefty timber surround. In the corner is a cabinet that I salvaged from going to the skip. It's got to have Originally I was going to put chisels in it, but I decided that having chisels through a shelf like that was probably going to be difficult when you've got your hand around underneath it looking for things. So at the moment it's drills on the top and knives, bits and pieces like that, screwdrivers in the middle. At the moment it's just junk on the bottom shelf. I'm intending to put chisels in there, but I'm just coming up with some sort of a solution that will mean I can do it without causing major injury. I think at the end of the day I will probably put clamps underneath that unit against the wall, make some sort of a clamp rack. There's some roller blinds there which will be going over the windows. They're again the subject of another video that's planned, and again the whole full height there I may well be putting on the large clamps that I've got, which will go floor to ceiling effectively, and probably even those they will go on that end wall, I think. The blinds will be the subject, as I say, of a future thing on security. I'm doing some covers for the windows and some blinds and one or two other things that all help to make the place a little bit less inclined to be robbed, I hope. Just a pile of junk in the corner, really. What I call my go bag, which is the bits and pieces I take out with me if I go anywhere. There's a pull saw, screwdrivers, drills, hammer, bits and pieces like that, and I normally pick up the pair of cheap nasty drills that I've got on the wall as well, take with me, and then I've pretty much got everything covered. At the moment there's nothing much else. There's a heap of timber in the corner there, which is the subject of a video that I'm doing about the actual construction of the shed. I didn't make the decision to do the YouTube channel until after I'd built the shed, but I have got a lot of photographs that I can splice in with some idea of how it's been put together. I'm just building a mock-up at the moment of the wall construction, which shows the shed wall, the breather membranes and all the finishings on the inside and the construction. So that will be coming up in the future. And then there are some more carts to be built to fit into this corner. I'm hoping to put dust extract of some description in the corner. That's something I've yet to decide what I'm doing, what I'm using, but it is something that's essential. I've probably also got to make space for a bandsaw, which I would like very much. At the moment there is a pillar drill down the back of the scroll saw, which is awaiting another aluminium unit, and I'll probably make that multi-purpose so that it will have space for either the bandsaw or the pillar drill underneath and or on top, and you can just interchange the two. That'll leave space probably then for one more cart, which will be a planer thicknesser and a spindle sander. I'm just looking at the Triton spindle belt sander that looks quite nice, and I've been quite pleased with the Triton bits I've bought so far, so we'll see. That's pretty much the actual shed, so there isn't a lot of room left when I've put all that in, but at least I should have the flexibility to move things around as and when I work. I can just pull out the carts from underneath, pull the benches out and work on them. The reason the underneath benches have to move, particularly in the case of the MFT, is that only Festool could sell you something for an extortionate amount of money that then wobbles, so you have to spend another extortionate amount of money on a pair of cross braces at the back, which fit in diagonally across the back, but it stops you pulling the bench forward without pulling out the stuff underneath it in the first place. So that's something that I've had to do the casters for. Up in the roof space, I've managed to scrounge a little bit of room. The trusses were beefed up so that I've got room for storage up there on one side for bits and pieces. And on the other side there is some timber storage. At the moment it's just plywood, some odd bits of hardwood and softwood. I'm not going to have a lot of room for storage. I'm just going to have to accept the fact that I need to buy stuff when I want to use it, and that's it, and the odd bit of wood that you get given free. So I hope you've enjoyed the tour. As I say, there will be a channel coming along on YouTube in the next couple of months that will document both the build of the shed and the fitting out and the ongoing developments of storage and things like that, as well as one or two projects. I'm not a woodworker, I'm a wood butcher who plays at DIY, who can screw two bits of 4x2 together at right angles, and that's about it. But hopefully with some gear like the Triton router that I need to learn how to use, and the chop saw that needs a new blade, and get the extract working, we can produce something that's a little bit better than I've been doing so far. And I look forward to seeing you over there. Thanks for your time. Thanks for the welcome that I received when I joined a month or so ago to the Facebook group. It was quite different to find a group that was so friendly and peaceful. So it's a nice place to be. Let's hope I can contribute to it. Thank you very much for your time. See you again soon. Bye.